Baxter, Kaheem Ransom, and Jabari Peters, and we will start off with an opening statement from Coach Hooten.
I guess that's my opening statement. Two really good basketball teams going at it. We knew that coming in. We just played them 2 weeks ago in a tough, hard-fought game at their place, and we didn't play very well defensively that night, so that we knew tonight coming in, not just that it's tournament basketball, but because they're so good and got such great firepower offensively, that we were going to have to play a really good defensive game, and I thought we did that. I thought we got great production from every single guy that played tonight, and we've had a really unselfish team and a team that's just been really fun to coach this year, and this team's taught me a lot. I know, an old wise coach told me after last year, he said, man, you got to go get some offense. Your team is really good defensively, but you just have to be able to go score the ball. And we got guys that got better individually coming back, and then we went and got these two guys over here to my right, and they've made a remarkable they've helped our team out remarkably. And the greatest thing is how everybody else just meshed and blended in with them and just into a well-rounded team. I think if we continue to play defense and play hard and, make that extra effort, that team's got a lot left.
Questions?
Coach.
Yeah. Please wait for the mic.
Coach Brandon Scott from the Huntsville Item. You guys limited Glover and Bilberry to far less than what they produced against you guys when you guys went to Oral Roberts. What was the strategy going against them? What was different about that matchup today?
Well, two things. First of all, last time we tried to double team Glover, and when we did that, we left some guys open that usually don't score a lot of points for them, and those guys made some shots. And so as a staff, we just talked about, Glover's going to get his regardless of what you do, and we just can't let those other guys do that. We were pretty close to our goal tonight. We tried, those guys were scoring 35.6 of their 71.6. And I told the guys before the game that we had to hold those two, Glover and Bilberry, to 29. And we didn't quite make it. We gave them 34. But Glover made a 35-foot three-pointer there at the end. And Bilberry made a really tough jump shot there that Paul had really guarded. So if you take those five away, then we were right on our number of 29. That's what we did, and I thought our guys did a great job of following the game plan. I'm very fortunate I got a great staff, and they got really good ideas and worked really hard on this game in preparation, getting our guys ready. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but we've been fortunate this year that it's worked more than it hasn't.
Paul, there was a couple of moments there at the end where you had a couple of key deflections defensively. There was a loose ball that Jabari ended up coming up with, and then a drive there on the next possession where you stripped the guy who penetrated. Have you sat and had a chance to think about how big those defensive moments were up 9 with them having a chance to rally? And Coach, if you wanted to speak on that as well, how important that was in the game.
Well, right after that possession, he dribbled down and he handed the ball to Mike. And we don't want Mike getting fouled at the end of the game. So he was mad at himself, and I called him over there, and I think he probably thought I was going to say, Paul, do not throw Mike the ball right there. And instead, I leaned over in his ear, and I said, what an unbelievable defensive play that you just made down there on the other end, and I patted him on the butt. And it was, but Paul's been doing that all year long. I think Paul's I know he didn't make first-team defensive all-conference, but I thought he was worthy of it, and he and Mike. But both those guys have been really anchors of our defense all year long. Paul gets the tough assignment every night, and he likes that. That's his personality, and he and I have a lot of the same personalities and traits. I think that's why I love him so much and so glad that he plays for us.
I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. He put the ball in front of me. First time Glover got the steal, and he was pushing up the court and just didn't see me. And I just happened to poke it out, and Jabari came up with the loose ball, and the next time he just put it right in front of me. And I know when I had 4 fouls, I tried to do something. I just couldn't let him get a layup. I just happened to get the ball.
Yeah.
It's all you, Brandon.
This one for Kaheem and Jabari, just the type of games that you guys had in your first time in this type of moment. Kaheem, you more so in the first half, and Jabari in the second half. Just if both of you could go over what this sort of your assessment of how you played and what this experience was like your first time in.
This was a great
No, you're good.
this was a
Go
great
ahead.
experience for me. Paul and the other guys, Mike and T-Mott, they told me about how intense this game was going to be, and it's tournament time. Everybody wants to be in the big dance. And I knew it was going to be tough, but first half I didn't have my best half, but my guys picked me up. Coach drew up a play at the end of the game. End of the first half. I knocked the shot down, and I was just like, okay, this is going to get me going. And I just thank my guys, man. They just always pick me up when I need them.
Yeah, I thought it was a great environment. It was a little more intense than conference play, but I just wanted to come out and be aggressive on both ends of the floor. I was proud of the way our guys shared the ball tonight. We did a tremendous job of sharing the ball and guys making shots and making tough plays.
Corey Repkin, Houston Chronicle. Coach, two questions. One, same game last year, you beat Oral Roberts. I know the seeds were reversed. What was the difference in those two games? And also, I guess what was maybe similar in the two games that helped you get through? And second, you have another chance at the semifinals. How is this team maybe more prepared than last year's team to get through to the final?
Well, it's a good question, and I think the biggest thing that's the difference in this game and last year is NCAA changing the physical play. We played them last year. I think the final was 55-53, and about half of those calls they made tonight wouldn't have been called in that game. So I think that was a big part of it, and that was kind of our team's mentality last year. We had to do a little bit of changing at the beginning in the fall, trying to play defense without contact and hand checking and bumping and being physical. And I know this team, probably as good as anybody in the country, did a really good job at, adhering to those new rules and stuff, and getting better defensively. But I think that was probably the biggest difference in the two games tonight. And the other thing is, the team's got a whole lot more firepower than that team had last year. Last year we averaged 68 points a game. The reason that we were here is because we only gave up 67. When you only have a 1 point difference in what you give up and what you score, you don't have a lot of room for error. And I thought we were 17-17, and that's probably what we were. We were probably a 500 team that played really good at the end of the year and got better. But this team's got a lot of firepower. We're averaging 78 points a game, giving up about 70, so 8-point difference is pretty big. And then the other thing about this team is we won a lot of close games this year. And I think we're one of the top teams in the country with the last 2 minutes at free throw percentage. We're shooting over 75% in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Matt Doyle, Tulsa World. Can you talk about the three-point shooting, particularly in the first half, that kind of gave you a cushion to, get after it defensively? Did that help?
It did. I think Jabari's shot at the end of the half got us going as a team and also got him going too. My coaching style is kind of weird, but, when I was a player, I always wanted to play the way I let them play this year. But I worked for a coach that was like Bobby Knight. All we did was play defense and work the ball until the shot clock went out and play slow. And so my first year of coaching, we had a really good inside player and we played really slow. And then my second year, we thought we had a little better talent. We tried to play fast. And then last year, we got to a point where we just had to play defense and grind it. So this year, I'm really letting these guys play like I wanted to play when I was a player, even though I was not near as good as these guys. But I think that's the big thing with this team is just we have a lot of firepower, and I've kind of let those guys go, and we play in transition, and we play off all that ball screen stuff, and we just let players go make plays. I try not to overcoach them.
Brandon Williams, Southland.org. You touched a moment ago, Coach, on the free throw shooting, especially at the end. Just again, talk a little bit more about that, especially now at this time of year where it's even more important.
That's a good question. Our goal at the beginning of the year was to be a 70% free throw shooting team, and we didn't quite get there in the regular season. We're right at about 65.7, 66%. And we just keep working on that and trying to get there. But, and there's been games when it's probably costed us a little bit. But, we've played a lot of close games this year. We've had to work against my athletic director was just talking about how well we, executed against that press late in the game, and we've had a lot of practice in doing that. But the good comfort of me as a coach is knowing that when we do get it to a certain guy that's in the game, when it's 2 minutes or less, those guys walk up there with ice water in their veins, and they've done a great job of making those free throws when they count. And, you know, I guess if you had to choose between the two, you'd rather make them at the end when they count than at maybe in the middle or the beginning.
We got time for one last question if anybody has anything else. Okay.
I was just going to ask, and any of you could answer this one, but is this the best game that y'all played? Maybe Kaheem, is this the best game y'all played all year?
I'm not sure. Everything's a blur from the previous games, but this was a great game we played. I think we made some big plays on the defensive end and offensive end. I'm not sure, but this was a good game for us as a unit.
Jabari, you hadn't done much talking down there, man. Come on.
I wouldn't call it our best game, but we did come to play today, and we did make some big plays down the stretch, and during in the first and second half, and guys stepped up for us, and it's a good win, that's for sure.
I think we finished the regular season off on a really good note. We played, you know, Southeastern New Orleans and played really good defensively. Gave up about 42%, and these guys had good confidence coming in. We made some shots in those two games, and I felt like coming in that we were playing really good basketball. And I know that road trip to Central Arkansas and Oral Roberts, you know, that's a tough road trip. We spent 20 hours in a bus. It's tough, you know. But I also know that, you know, that's a part of why we're here is because these guys they've had a lot of resolve all year long, and, you know, we've been in close games and we've made clutch shots and we've gotten stops when we needed to, and, you know, it just says a lot about the character of our team and how tough we are and being ready to play when it's time.
All right. Thanks, gentlemen.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.